Welcome back to the world of grand strategy. This is the fifth installment of my grand strategy tutorial series in Godot. If you want to see how we came to this point, check out the links in the description for the full series. And today we are going to tackle the subject of smooth borders. But before we do that, I have a little announcement, and that is that this project is now up on Git. It is under the MIT license, so feel free to use this in your own projects, commercial, private, or otherwise. It would be nice with credit, but it's not obligatory. This is my gift to you, and I'll also try my best to keep this repository updated and keep developing, not just alongside this series, but also hopefully after that and keep it maintained. The link for this GitHub will also be in the video description. So feel free, go in and start it and follow the journey. So that being said, let's go back to the project. So a quick recap of what we have. We have colored the provinces that are owned by different nations. We can select the different provinces. They light up in green. The state the province belongs to light up in white. So you can see the menu here of the province ID, the color of the province map, that is the foundation of this method or technology. We have implemented some map modes and support for more if you want. But as we can see, the map is still quite ugly. And one of those reasons is the borders. So let's zoom in so we can see it more clearly. Oh, I don't have a camera implemented yet, so I'm going to do it right in the remote editor. So give me a second. Yeah, let's zoom in. So now, like if you see the borders here between Czech and Germany, for example, or Poland, Germany, it is blurred, it is jagged, it simply does not look good. So we are going to solve this by using something called an HQX Shader, and credit where credit is due. I found this method by browsing YouTube myself, so it has been used in another grand strategy project made by Stupid Ones Games for Unreal Engine. I'm also going to include a link to his page in this description. It's an amazing project, so if you are on Unreal Engine or interested in that, then check it out. It looks super good, and it's not only a game anymore. I think he released it as a plugin, so you can also work on that project. I got linked to, or I found this HQX upscaling shader in something called Shader Toy, which is like a library of a lot of shaders. Unfortunately, these are not just plug and play into Godot. These are in GLSL shader language, which is similar to Godot's shader language, but not one-to-one. So what I had to do was to translate this into the Godot shader and make it fit within our project. So without any further ado, let's start coding. Now we are back inside our project. So let's go ahead and jump to our map scene, because this is where we will apply all our changes. Actually, to have like a short recap on how it works, our map is actually in 3D space. But in order to make the map selection work, we had to create a shader for 2D. So our map is a sprite 2D that is captured through a viewport. And we use that viewport as a viewport texture on our 3D mesh. And the shader to create smooth borders it's going to apply it on the finished result, which means that we will not apply it directly on the sprite 2D, we will apply it on the mesh. And we have created shaders for it. We have the map 3D shader, which basically now just takes the subview texture. And we have the map 2D shader that does basically everything else right now. As a first step, we kind of need to move some functionality because our map 2D shader is now taking also not only the map selection, but it also takes the texture. And we don't want to send that texture through our upscaling shader because then it would just look weird when it's not, when it's, yeah. The upscaling shader works best when there are like few simple colors with clear separation and not like, not like this. Okay, let's start to move some functionality. So I'm going to move this terrain image to our 3D shader, like so. Now we of course don't have this texture, so we need to move that one too. For the final color, then we can actually just use the step before. So let's just remove these lines. So I'm just going to have a quick peek and see that nothing broke. Yeah. So yeah, now we see that the map colors are here, but there's no terrain image. So then we just mix that in our 3D shader. So now we mix the subview texture with the terrain. Okay, so like for let's see how it works now. Now, of course, we need to apply an image, obviously, or I mean, shader parameter. So I'll take our thread image like this. It's a bit white to me, but sorry, not that one. Okay, yeah, now we have more or less the same result as we had earlier. So we just moved which shader took the terrain image. Good, then we are all set to start to code our HQX upscaling shader. So let's just create some order. So I need 3 of those. Threshold 0.1. Anti-aliasing scale. So these numbers are of course tweakable. I have tweaked them some myself. So they are a bit different from the shader that was online. But just I felt like it looked better and that it connected better. So and that is the MIP level. Then we need a function for the line blending logic. So I'm not going to explain all of this simply because it's translated. I translated it, but I have not created all the logic behind the shader. So to be completely honest, I don't really know exactly how everything works, but it works. So copy this line for V2. change this to .x like so. That should get the direction. Okay, that should be the diagonal line blending function. So then let's put what we need to put in our fragment shader. So apply smoothing. So if okay, now we need some parameters first. So I need to grab the texture size. Of our subview image. Actually, that means that we don't need this. Okay, so -1, 0. Then let's copy this guy right here. Paste twice. It's supposed to be a dot. Separate with a comma instead. That's 1, 1. 0, 1. -1. It's 1. 25. Okay, and then we need to copy this whole function, or this whole if statement again. Change around the numbers a bit. So basically, checking its own pixel against all the neighbors. So in that regard, it is kind of a demanding shader. Surprisingly performant, but everything has a cost. But still, this one is, in my opinion, really worth it. It really makes the game. Okay. Then again. Then -1, 0. One. Okay, and again, and this is final. The mistake on the last one, it's supposed to be 0, -1. This is -1, 0, correct. -1, 1. So 1, 0. And then as the final output, you could just do it directly in our albedo function. I do want a mix. So let's just get rid of this one. Now we just want S. And texture this other way around. So let's take so let's have a look. Did we make it? Or did we break it? That's the question. So it looks very promising. So let me zoom in a bit using the editor. Yes, so as you can see, this is very good actually. Yeah. It does look a little bit pixelated, the terrain image. So, but if not for that, you see that the border itself between the colors are very smooth. So let me see if I can move it. Really should think about getting a proper camera in place. Yeah. So now you can see that the borders are super smooth, and you can like scale in. Yeah. And it also applies to the selected regions. If you wonder why it's not colored some places, it's because it's the lakes. So yeah, that's it. But since we are first hour here and working, we can also apply something else. We do have, can apply some normals to also kind of make the map look a bit better, since that is the theme of the day. So let's go back to our shader, and also now in the 3D one, because again, we don't want to use our upscaling shader on anything else than the areas that are covered by the map selection. So all normals and everything else has to be applied kind of after that. So that's why we do that in the map 3D shader. So let's use a uniform sampler again. Just take another line. Normal map. And it needs to be of another type because it's not a source color, it's a normal map. Let's take normal. Like so. And we need to give it the texture treatment. So let's copy this line. Normal map texture. It doesn't have an alpha, but you can take the vec4 anyways. Why not? Like so. And then at the bottom, use the normal map property. Okay, I changed my mind. Let's stick to vectors in input. Good, and then we need to apply it. So normal map image here. Luckily we have it. So what you now will see is that you can see already that we got kind of some shadows going here. Of course, the most mountainous places of the world, it looks better. So let's start it up again. So immediately, okay, yeah, you do see a little bit of shadows here, in Northern Africa. You see it very much in Turkey and, in the Caucasus. So I'll take and move around a bit in the editor. So, okay, so let's move in a bit. So especially, I haven't colored those regions yet, but especially the Himalayas, you can see that it's really mountainous. So if I now change the rotation of the sun, you can see how you see. So now I'm moving the sun around, so you see that how it casts the shadows. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool and kind of elevates the map quite a bit already. So there you have it. Now we have gotten some normals in our game, and most importantly, we have our smooth borders. And as a reminder again, if you didn't see from the beginning, this will be up on GitHub. I will update now with the newest additions. So feel free, use the project in your own projects. It's MIT license, so it's free to use in your own personal but also commercial projects. So that's it for now. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all later.